Doctor, good. I gave you 2 weeks to fix my vocal cords. Is it done?
Mr. Ben, you see the equipment I have to work with.
No, Doctor, I don't care. I expect my voice in the record.
Mr. Ben, please, before you kill me, just let me try.
Very well.
That's the mask off. Now time for the serum for your voice.
Blech. Disgusting. My voice is changing, but returning to normal.
No, don't shoot. It's all part of the process.
Hey, boss, you dead?
Oh, my voice.
Ah, better. Now it is as it was before I was thrown in the pit.
Oh no.
Now to Gotham, when it is in ashes, Batman has my permission to die. But first, let's get some ice cream.
Yeah! Goal!
Could be worse. It could sound like J-Lo.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever other bat time you've chosen and however you've chosen to bat tune in, we bat thank you here from the Batcave. I'm your host, Red Thunder Adam Gerard, and joining me as always on this journey into all things DC, I am joined by the one, the only, the Dad Knight Braden Ahern.
Bat hello.
And the irresistible force that met the immovable object, the Honey Badger
You're on.
Let me try that again.
Ah, you fucking amateur, man. Come to a podcast. It'll be heaps professional.
Some dickhead who comes every week and talks about things that are on TV. Honey Badger Terry O'Neill.
Hola.
And yeah, well, thank you once again. You have joined us here from the Batcave, and it is great that you have. We really appreciate it. Yeah. So guys, how are we this week?
Batastic.
Yeah?
Batastic.
That's good. That's good. Did we get up to much?
Don't know. No, Deathstroke is still kicking my ass on Arkham City, Arkham Origins. So I've just thrown a control against the wall and said, "I'm out. I'm done."
Yeah.
So
I've been doing that for about 12 episodes.
Still haven't got the new mouse?
Yeah.
No,
Quick
actually,
mouse?
I went out and bought one of the controls, the Xbox 360 controls.
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, I think I've got to sync it up properly. I think my computer has served me for 7 years, and it is slowly dying, and I may have to bury it soon.
I can understand that.
So it's occasional like small hints of blue screen of death. It's like, no, we're
Still
good.
better than Windows 8 though, yeah?
Yeah, totally. But we're meant to get Windows 10 for free, apparently.
Yeah, for the first year.
Yeah, fuck that. I'll just stick with 7.
What a joke. Have it for a year, then pay us for your shit.
Yeah, no shit.
That is so Microsoft.
I'm sorry, all your stuff's in the cloud, and it's not going to rain your information until you give us money. That's basically how it's
That's how Microsoft roll, isn't it? Just do you want to use the Enter key on your keyboard? That'd be $50 a stroke, thanks. Just pathetic.
Oh god, the any key is coming soon. I swear to God, I've heard rumors of this any key for many years now.
Yeah, all you need to do is press it.
Yeah, it's true.
That's some deep stuff right there.
Mm.
And now it's time for This Week on TV.
All right.
My name is Oliver Queen. After 5 years in hell, I have come home with only one goal: to save my city. To the rest of Starling City, I am someone else. I am something else. My name is Barry Allen, and I am the fastest man alive. A friend recently gave me the idea for a new name, and something tells me it's gonna catch on.
James Gordon. Alfred Pennyworth. We're gonna get the guy that did this, sir.
New boy, are ya?
You'd say.
Good luck, mate.
And what a week it was. Oh, boys, did you have enough of your fill of TV? Jesus.
Yeah,
For 45 minutes episodes, these things packed a lot of punch.
I
Yeah.
was very happy to have these back. I've been missing them.
Yeah.
And they came back well.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's a well-timed shot to the gonads. It was great.
Exactly.
Yep.
It was fantastic.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll kick it off, as always, with a bit of Gotham. With this week's episode, What the Little Bird Told Him. It's a deep one. All right. Here you go. You ready for my recap? You ready? Prepare yourself. Strap in. Strap in. There we go. Now, this episode picks off where last week's left off, with the electrocutioner and amygdala wandering the streets of Gotham. And Jim Gordon being all like, I'm going to get you, because I'm Jim Gordon. Because he's not Batman, but he is Jim Gordon.
Yeah.
All right. We start off with Efson holding a briefing about Gruber and Aaron, a.k.a. Electrocutioner and Amygdala, where she reveals that Gruber's name was an alias and called him clever, angry, and a public menace. Gruber revealed that being in Arkham freed his mind and allowed him to see the world as it truly was. He then wisely stated that people were like broken machines and very few could be fixed. Later on, the commissioner turns up, to which everybody at the station is very, very surprised by, including Jim Gordon, who asks him why he's there. He's never seen him there. To which the commissioner turns around and asks Jim why he became a cop instead of practicing law like his father, which I think was meant to insult Jim, which Jim didn't answer in a very Jim manner, but instead said that he had the inside track on Gruber and could work out what he was thinking and what his next move would be. We then cut across town to Falcone, who was busy torturing before having killed, clearly somebody who's betrayed his organization, clearly showing that he does not care what you have done. If you betray him, you're finished. All right. After they'd killed him, he then took Liza for a walk in his old neighborhood, telling her that it used to be a slum. Falcone reveals to Liza that he had worked hard to get where he was, and that they then shared a sweet moment where he revealed to her that she was a good girl who needed to find a good husband. He basically seemed to imply that there's just platonic things there, and he feels about her like he did about his mother. From there, Liza's security escort was shot, and she's kidnapped by Fish, who then later on calls Falcone using a voice modulator and tells him that she's been kidnapped and that he will soon receive information about how, why, and where she will be released. From there, Harvey Bullock remarks to Jim that he shouldn't be using Maroni as bait, since they know that Blukonsky is going after him after he leveled an attack that nearly killed the Don and the rest of his crew and then vanished. But Jim says it doesn't matter, he'll keep him at the police station where he's safest, and it will bring them to him, which ultimately will get him off the streets away from the public. At that point, Edward Nigma turns up with a pair of rubber boots and tells Jim that all officers should probably wear these as it will insulate them, to which Harvey Bullock tells Nigma that he's a knob and to go away.
No, Mum, I won't wear my rubbers on the job.
Also worth noting is that Edward Nigma once again tried to flirt with the supply clerk by giving her a cupcake with a bullet in it because it was a riddle. The answer, of course, was, a beautiful woman is a dangerous thing. All right, now, Jim, using his plan to his max, realizes that Amygdala and Electrocutioner will turn up at the police station to come after the Don. However, at the same time, in the last attack, Penguin was stunned and in his dazed state tells Maroni that he needs to see Falcone about business. Finally, back at the police station when he starts to come to, Maroni confronts him about this and asks what the story is, and Penguin brushes it off and says it was a mistake, that he needed to see his mother. And for the moment, it seems that Maroni believes him. Now, at that point, before anything else can get said, the Electrocutioner turns up and starts running amok by, electrocuting everybody, except the one man smart enough to wear his rubber-soled boots to work, Jim Gordon, who proceeds to put a whooping not only on the Electrocutioner, but also on Amygdala, which was a hell of a sight to see. Then, the Commissioner has a nice big press conference announcing the arrest and captivity, and reinstates Jim Gordon as a detective, to which Gordon tells the Commissioner that the next man who tries to take his shield from him will eat it. Next, Harvey and Jim had a conversation where they each advised each other to be careful going forward. Jim then went to the locker rooms to have a shower, at which point Dr. Tompkins turned up, wandered in and was all like, Jim, you look nice in that wife beater. Reminds me of when you're on the OC. And then they had a little bit of a kiss, and it was very lovely. And then a cop walked in and was all like, hey, they want you down at the Fisher's Club because some shit went down there. And he's all like, can't you see him kissing a bitch? Get out. So anyway, we find out what had happened at Fisher's Club was that Falcone had joined the dots and worked out that it was Fish that had her. Had Liza, I should say.
Yeah.
Went down to the club to confront her, and when he realised that Oswald Cobblepot has been telling the truth, that Liza is working for Fish and is a mole, choked her to death in front of Fish. He then told his boys to take Fish and Butch away to the pen, and he will deal with them later. That was the end of this week's Gotham. Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Swing away, Braden.
Well, of course, I enjoyed this episode. It was great.
What?
How could you enjoy this episode?
My only thing that I didn't was that it was predictable.
Mm-hmm.
I picked it, when they first said he was going to Arkham. Something would go down, he would save the day, and he'd be let back in.
It's quick. Quicker than I thought
He is
they'd do
quick.
it.
He's quick.
Yeah.
Yep. What I didn't predict and what I really did love was the other sort of side story going on with Fish and Falcone and Liza.
Something finally happened.
Yeah, something finally happened. So that's what's got me excited at the moment. What happens with Fish? Do they kill her off? Then what happens with Penguin? I'm sort of thinking maybe my prediction is that Falcone actually gives him Fish's property and everything like that.
The only hard part to explain then is going to be how is Moroni not going to know something's up.
He'll know. I think he'll be. I don't know. There'll have to be some sort of conflict between them now.
Oh, I think so, absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I mean,
I realised I
he
forgot part of my
already-
recap as well. There was a scene that I forgot where Barbara went to stay at her parents' house.
Yep.
And they were very cold and frigid and basically told her she could stay as long as the weekend. Because
Yeah.
even her parents can't stand her, it turns out.
Yeah.
And then she also told a lie when they asked if she was still with Jim, and she said yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I figure that will pay off later on when she's all like, I want you back.
So I don't know what she's going to do after the weekend.
Die, hopefully.
So maybe the, redemption thing might happen sooner rather than later. There'll probably be some sort of conflict between Tompkins and her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Competition or whatever, but that'll probably happen, soon.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know, I'm very excited to see what happens. This episode, as strong as the rest of them, I really enjoyed it. Really looking forward to where it's going to go. Now I can't, I can sort of, I've got guesses, but I can't predict it as well as easy as what I could a couple of episodes ago.
I'll agree with that. I also like the fact that it's nice to have a returning character in one of these shows so soon, not just Zaz, who's standing in the background being menacing like he was in this episode.
Being nuts.
he was fantastic.
He's real nuts.
He's great, but not only having those little moments like Zaz and the Penguin looking at each other and things like that, but Electrocutioner coming back was nice because it's not just as simple of here's your villain of the week. By the end of it, we'll have him locked in a prison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really like that. I like that idea because that is Gotham City, where it takes it takes Batman to be able to collect these dudes because they're not what the cops can handle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. It's annoyingly how well consistent this script is being written.
Yeah.
From the very get-go, from the opening credits of having Gruber or Electrocutioner walking across the road to Johnny Cash.
Yep.
And walking up to the door and electrocuting someone through the door. That was a very, a strong intro. That's probably the strongest intro they've had.
I think so, yeah.
Because I think the music very much set the tone. It was a very Johnny Cash, dark episode, even for Gotham. I like the fact that, for me, it was the little things like the Edward Nigma hitting on Miss Kringle with a cupcake with a bullet.
Yep.
For some reason, the band name Bullet for My Valentine popped into my head straight off the bat. And if you did,
I thought Bullet with your name on it. That's what I thought.
Yeah, that's probably why it came across as a little creepy. But there was that scene where he went back into the stockroom to explain the riddle to her. There was that little bit of connection because she did that weird little flirty smile girls do, and then the jock came in, and then all of a sudden I'm taken back to high school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
no shit.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
But then, like, because I was watching it with Dr. Bang, who's he's a Sparky by trade.
Okay.
So could you imagine the ear chewing I got watching this episode? So that was great. But it's just one of those it was a filler episode, but it was a filler episode with content.
Yeah.
Which tied up a lot of loose ends. I'm glad Fish is actually finally, her sort of story arcs obviously coming either plateauing or coming down, if you know what I mean. I still remember, Butch is still one of Penguin's minions now, isn't he? Because didn't Penguin turn him at one point? I'm pretty...
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I thought I was wondering about that too, if maybe he'll get spared.
So,
or
yeah,
Penguin will ask for him
he'll
to be
join
spared.
Penguin's crew.
Yeah, he will join Penguin's crew, but Penguin will probably ask a favour of Falcone.
Yeah.
And Penguin may very well get that club, but ask for someone else to actually run it.
So Butch becomes the figurehead. So
Yeah,
Penguin
so
can
he's
stay
the
in the
figurehead.
background.
So
Yeah, I
it's just
can see
like,
that.
well, that guy's got it. I'm still working for you. You know,
I could see that because that balances out and doesn't make it obvious to Maroney
Yeah,
that there's
very
a
much.
nice big shift
I mean,
in power.
Maroney got obviously a very big hint with Penguin blurting it out.
Yeah.
And he wasn't 100% convinced, you could tell. But it's one of those things that sets up that beautiful other story arc. Where does Penguin go from here?
Well, it's the seeds of doubt. That's what
Yeah.
Maroney needs, seeds of doubt, so
Yeah.
that he can finally
absolutely
see what's happening.
So it's one of those episodes where you can sit down. Like, I've watched it twice already, and I enjoy it thoroughly.
Yeah.
So it's annoyingly how well written it is, because you can just go back and find all those Easter eggs and everything like that.
I was going to say, speaking of Easter eggs, the favourite one for me in this episode is the fact that in the comic books, the electrician, I can't think of his first name, but he is named Gruber.
Yep.
And he talks about how he's the second electrocutioner.
Yeah.
But all we know is that he has an older brother. We don't know his first name.
Yep.
In theory, Jack Gruber is that older brother now.
Yeah.
So they have named him.
I think I mentioned last week I did a bit of a Wikipedia search, and I think I mentioned that the electrocutioner is kind of like a moniker,
A family name,
a family name. So maybe it's like a family of villains.
Well, I think
'cause
it's
obviously,
either his brother or his son.
yeah, because the way I know electrocutioner features one of the assassins in the Batman game.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that
Electrocutioner?
that one, and Batman are of similar ages. So maybe it is quite possibly his son.
Yeah.
Or an illegitimate son,
Or
or
a nephew or some shit.
something like that. So I mean, it sets up for a really, really good story arc.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of curious how what's his name? It was Aaron, wasn't it? Or Aaron? His offsider?
Aaron, I think.
Amygdala.
Migdala.
Aaron, yeah. He's called,
Aaron-
in the show he's called Aaron, but that is Amygdala.
That's Migdala.
That's the villain Amygdala.
I'm curious to know more about him, because I haven't researched him as much. I thought he was just
Well, basically, Amygdala, it's very similar in the comic books. He's experimented on, and what they're trying to do is he's a guy who has a high level of rage.
Mm-hmm.
So they attempt to go in and remove something. It's either they remove his amygdala or remove something around the amygdala, and it's meant to quell rage, but it doesn't. It makes him stronger, and when he does rages, he rages massively out.
Okay.
But it actually took away his intelligence.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And what they ended up doing with Amygdala in the comics was he was a villain for a very long time, but he was one of those villains that Batman would kind of take it easy on, because he always understood
There's
it's
something not right.
It's not his free thought. He's programmed.
Yep.
Somebody's told him to do this shit, so
Yeah.
I just need to stop him, but I'm not going to
Destroy him.
I'm not going to go like Bane on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But then ultimately what happened was that Dick Grayson actually learnt how to control Amygdala and put him in the Teen Titans as one of his members.
Oh, okay.
So Amygdala got a redemption story and actually is Robin's kind of sidekicky best friend.
Oh, cool.
So
Awesome. That tied that up.
So yeah, that's Amygdala.
Wicked.
He's basically a mini Bane, if you want a mini Bane.
It's a mini Bane.
So yeah, well, any other thoughts on Gotham, or should we throw it over to Flash?
No, I've got no other thoughts.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
It's just a really
yeah.
good episode where it's like, the good episode, we got everything we needed. Now we just need to see next week's to...
Yeah.
See where it goes.
Help
Yeah.
start. All right. Well, this week's episode, Flash, episode 10, was titled "Revenge of the Rogues." We obviously have the flashback from tie-in from the first half of the season.
Mid-season finale.
Yeah. American TV. I don't follow it that well. I can't follow their pattern. But anyway, we have Barry training against a drone piloted by Cisco, with Cisco making it quite difficult for Barry, knocking him over. As Cisco comes back round with the drone, Barry gets up and catches a missile mid-air, whipping it around and tossing it back at the drone, destroying it. Wells tells Barry he's impressed with with his progress, and with consistent training he'll be able to beat the Reverse Flash. Over to local importers, we have Captain Cold and Heatwave breaking in an effort to draw out the Flash for a duel, but to no avail. Later, back at the importers, we have Barry and Joe going over the crime scene, Grant Gustin with 2 gloves on. Barry realizes the door has shattered like glass as if it was frozen. They come to the conclusion that it was Leonard Snart. At Captain Cold and Heatwave's hideout, Heatwave is getting frustrated at the fact they've done nothing and asks what the hell they're doing. Cold reveals that there is a painting called Fire and Ice, ironically, that is worth $25 million arriving back in Central City later on, and they intend to steal it. Over at Star Labs, Barry tells Team Flash that Snart is back. Wells expresses concern regarding Barry needing to prioritise his focus on getting faster. He also states that he and Cisco will help the police deal with Snart. Over at Barry's lab, Joe and Barry chat regarding Snart, mentioning Barry is focusing on the Reverse Flash, much to Joe's dismay. Barry argues the point that Reverse Flash has threatened everyone he knows and cares about, and that he has made up his mind. West's household, Iris is packing up her things to move in with Eddie, and after a touching moment between father and daughter, Barry arrives. Iris gives Barry his nerd survival kit from when he was young, and after some awkward moments, Joe ends up asking Barry what's going on, and Barry says he told Iris how he feels about her. At the police station, Cisco makes a presentation showing off the new modification to riot shields they've made so that police would be safe against Captain Cold's gun. Joe then has a tension-filled chat to Wells regarding Barry's new priorities. At Star Labs, Caitlin is researching Firestorm when Barry rocks up. Barry chats to her saying that he told Iris how he feels and now he doesn't know where he stands with her. Caitlin recalls the time when her and Ronnie were engaged and how she used to know how everything was going to be predictable, and Ronnie changed all that and everything will be better in time. Barry then has an aha moment when he asks if Firestorm is an acronym. Further research and Barry reading 800 pages of thesis, they then learn that the paper was written by Jason Rush, who was a student at Central City University. At a private airfield, the Fire and Ice painting arrives, and Cold and Heatwave arrive to steal the painting. The police come with their new riot shields, enhanced by Star Labs, and they are working well, until Heatwave then starts using his heat gun on them. Heatwave then loses focus, and Cold tries to get his attention. After a brief shootout, Cold and Heatwave successfully steal the painting. Back at the police department, Barry arrives and learns that some of the officers have been put in the hospital with burn injuries. At Cold and Heatwave's hideout, they almost come to blows over Cold's obsession with the Flash. Cold cites that if they want Central City to be their home and for the taking, they need to take out the Flash. Cold mentions Flash has partners as well. Over at the cafe, Dr. Caitlin Snow catches up with Rush to talk about the Firestorm project. Rush tries to leave, but Caitlin begs him to stay. Rush talks about testing he did with Dr. Martin Stein and how they were successful in Stage 1, then went straight to Stage 3 where they were effective and melted a concrete wall using the Firestorm project. With the University furious and pulling funding, Dr. Stein published their paper and sought out private funding, never to return. The army arrived the next day to take all their research notes. In the parking lot, Caitlin is abducted by Cold and Heatwave in an effort to flush out the Flash. At Star Labs, Wells says to Barry that he hopes that they are not enemies because he is pushing him to pursue his training. Barry says in no way are they enemies and considers them to be friends. Cisco interrupts and says that the two guns can cancel each other out. Joe calls Barry and says that Caitlin has been kidnapped. Then they go back to the police department. Heatwave's identity is revealed as Mick Rory. Behind them, broadcasting on the TV, is Cold and Heatwave challenging the Flash to a duel and saying that if he doesn't come, Caitlin will die. At the hideout, Heatwave torments Caitlin with the threat of being burnt to reveal her true self. Cold interrupts, and he and Heatwave leave, not before arming a mine underneath Caitlin. Joe is seen calling Barry and tells him it's time to go and asks him if he's ready for the world to know about the Flash. At a cordoned-off street, Cold and Heatwave arrive, and so does the Flash, astounding nearby officers. During the fight with Cold and Heatwave, blasting at Flash with narrow misses exploding cars, Flash is struck down. In a cutscene, Cisco and Joe find Caitlin at the warehouse. Cisco trips over the trigger wire and is thrown aside by Joe. Joe then tackles Caitlin away from the mine, saving her life. With Cold and Heatwave closing in on Flash, Eddie Thorne grabs a Star Riot shield and comes to the Flash's aid, shielding him from the blast. Flash pulls him away, and after a chat with Wells, they try going slower to get the guns to cross streams, and it works. Cold and Heatwave are captured. At the police station, Cisco is given back the guns to take back to Star Labs, and he is thanked by the captain for his work. As Barry leaves, he hears other officers refer to the Flash as a hero. At the West home, the final boxes of Iris' things are being taken out, and after Eddie makes a dick of himself, Joe gives Iris and Barry a minute alone. Barry says he can see into the future and that says that they will be just fine and her and Eddie are happy together. Iris goes to leave, takes a photo of her and Barry. Joe and Barry decide to hang out, watch the game together, and talk about why Barry moved out in the first place. Barry then goes home, gets his stuff, and moves back in. Apparently, it's because he's a millennial. In closing, we have Cold and Heatwave being transported to Iron Heights. Cold mentions it's all part of the plan, saying that Flash is now in the open, and even them being caught was part of the plan. Suddenly, the truck is ambushed, and Cold and Heatwave are freed by someone Cold refers to as Sis. The end.
That's a great episode.
Oh
It
my
was.
god.
This was probably my favourite of the 3 this week.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, no,
It was
I'm thinking
just
my
very
Arrow.
exciting, you know, with Captain Cold and Heatwave.
Yeah,
their
and
fight.
they were great together as well.
They are great together. One's very quiet and calculated, and the other one's just like,
Hot and spicy.
fucking, I'm going to burn everything.
It's pretty much the same setup from Prison Break.
Yeah.
They play the roles very similar like they did in Prison Break, although in Prison Break they were brothers.
Yeah.
But this is sort of like rivals, but working together under tension.
You did forget a little bit of your... Did you remember the final scene with Snard and Heatwave getting rescued?
Yeah, I mentioned that.
Did you?
Yeah,
I must have zoned out. I do apologise.
No, you don't.
I don't. That's true. Fuck you. That was a good scene, though. I like that. I like the mystery of, like, if you know who it is in the comic books, cool. If you don't,
Yeah, it's
you'll
good.
know at the very start of the next episode.
Yeah.
And I like that. It's
Yeah.
like, that's a nice cliffhanger because it's not
Very cool.
It's not so much that you're like, fuck off, just tell me, like Wells, where it's like, fuck off. Just fuck off and tell me something.
Stop giving me Easter eggs through press conferences and little clips on Facebook. Just say
Yeah, don't give me these little moments where he
okay.
goes to stand up out of his chair. Just fucking...
it's okay.
Anyway.
If you're Jay Garrett, just go with it. It's okay. Tell
I
us.
I
We'll
didn't
love you more.
I brought up a theory, Braden. I about 20 minutes before we went on the air, I was talking to
Yeah.
Terry about this, and I came up with a theory.
Yep.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Okay. You know how Tom Cavanaugh has said, I am Reverse Flash?
Yes.
And then the showrunner was like, he is a Reverse Flash, but he's not the Reverse Flash.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, he's not. And then there's an episode coming up. I think it's I want to say 17. They've said it's seen entirely from the Reverse Flash's perspective of what happened that night, but not Harrison Wells' perspective. So it's like, okay, here's my theory. There was a crisis, obviously. Wells knows that a crisis has happened. What if by running into the crisis, he's shot into an alternate reality, and now a Wells from somewhere else, a Wells who was perhaps even a villain at one point, is now in this reality? That would make him technically a proper Reverse Flash. Almost like Bizarro is a Reverse Superman.
Yep.
That is my theory on, because and the more I think about it, everybody keeps going, well, Barry Allen wouldn't kill, so he can't be our Barry from the future. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Our Barry wouldn't kill. In
Yeah.
the same way that every other Lex Luthor, except for that one planet,
Yeah.
is evil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's my theory, is that he might not even be evil, but it's just that case of, I want to go home. And I'll do whatever it takes to go back home, Barry. Even if that means getting you powered up and taking my powers back from you, I'm going home.
Yeah.
So, that's my theory.
Yeah.
When you start throwing alternate worlds and time travel in, it starts getting a bit...
Yeah, but they have to
Yeah,
throw
it's
time travel
confusing.
into it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the actual Reverse Flash can't exist
It
without
can't
time
exist,
travel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a paradox kind of. Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe it's the paradox that sends Wells into the wrong. Who knows?
Flashpoint paradox.
Who knows what's going
I
to...
want
Well,
it.
they're leading towards the Flashpoint
I
paradox.
want it, but we need Batman for it, and it can't.
No, you don't. You need Oliver Queen.
You do need Ollie Queen.
No,
Yeah.
what I'm saying
Oh,
is you
yeah, I
don't need
suppose.
Batman. You've got
Ollie Queen.
Green Arrow.
Yeah, you
There's
got
your
Green
straight replacement.
Yeah.
He fits that. Who better to fit that mold?
That is true.
Especially at the imagine that at the end
Yeah.
too. Both his parents are now dead, and he goes somewhere where they
Or
all
the Flash goes back and says, and
then goes to him
Yeah.
and says, "You're Oliver. This is from your father."
yeah, and then
And, you know,
and,
like,
and that's
you
where I
can't
fall
list.
on the ground crying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I can see them doing the exact same
Yeah.
thing. It's just Oliver instead of Batman.
Yeah, yeah.
But-
I try not to feel. I try to conceal, not
Well,
to show it.
I'll tell you what, I'll move you away from those touching moments into this. I love the fact that any time, and this show is so self-aware that you cannot use the phrase "cross the streams"
Yeah.
without every nerd being like, Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
And they address it straight away, like Ghostbusters.
That movie is surprisingly scientifically accurate and so funny. Well done, guys. Well done. It's definitely a show for like the not necessarily like straight up
Pop
nerds.
culture nerds.
Yeah, it's pop culture nerds. It's not the full blown like nerds with
I think
massive Coke bottle glasses.
I get
but
the
it's just
feeling
one of those
that
things.
it's made for comic book fans, but Cisco represents that pop culture
Oh
element.
yeah. Look at his shirts.
Yeah.
He's kind of like the Sheldon, basically. Like
Don't make me hurt you.
shirt wise.
Oh, okay.
Shirt wise.
That's cool.
Okay, calm down. I can see the thunder rising. Calm it down. But no, he's definitely representing the pop culture nerd.
Yeah,
It's great.
This was a great show. It's the only reason, and I'll get into it when we get into Arrow. There's one reason why Arrow beats this, and it's just simply because Arrow advanced a plot area in two ways a lot better.
Yeah.
This episode was a very nice callback and a very nice bring back.
Yeah.
And it was a very nice catch up because like you get to see the flat. Like there's a few things that I didn't like about this episode. A few things I did. So let me give you the big cumulative rundown.
Okay.
All right, now
I don't think we have a choice in this.
fuck you guys. I like the fact he starts off by the whole intro with "I'm no longer the fastest man alive."
Yeah.
Awesome, because it's that immediate. You know what his goals are for the rest of this season.
To get faster.
To get the Reverse Flash.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. Then the thing I didn't like though, on the converse of that, because that's a fantastic selling point to remind us.
Yeah.
The thing I don't like on the side of
absolutely.
that, wasn't it just the last episode where Eddie's like, "I'm going to set up a task force. I'm going to get the Flash."
Yeah.
And then this episode, they're like, "We're going to get rid of that task force. He's a hero."
I'm sorry, Eddie. You're a
You know,
dickhead.
it's like that's. I can see what you're trying to do, but let's just go to another city within your DC universe. We'll call it Gotham. Batman's been being a hero for quite a while. He's still a vigilante and an outlaw, and outlawed by justice, even if he's a hero, and they still have to hunt the fucker.
Yeah.
So maybe y'all shouldn't be getting too excited about the Flash just yet.
But at the same time, we know that they built a museum for the Flash.
Yeah, ultimately, but that's once he's beat Gorilla Grodd and shit like that. We haven't even got Grodd for him now. When he beats a giant fucking telepathic gorilla, then you're a hero.
I think it was kind of funny because they I think it was only like episode 4 or 5 actually. They made reference to what they're going to build a museum in my honor or something like that. It's like, I know where you're going with this. It's all right. It's cool.
Now there was There was one other thing though that stuck with me this week.
Well, it's not the fact that he didn't have 2 gloves, so I know that much.
No. As I say, I still think that those were not.
Hold on, I'll get a
I'm
screenshot.
fairly certain they were gloves for keeping.
Did Joe
his
get
hands
a
warm.
bad haircut or something this week? Because he didn't take that beanie off, I don't think.
Maybe he's
He
got
wore a
plugs.
beanie for the entire episode.
I think that's a callback to. Was he in The Wire?
No, he was in...
He was in Law and Order.
Law and Order. Yeah, he was in Law and Order.
So I've seen a shot up in the cap from Law and Order, so I reckon he might have.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish I could remember what the other thing was. There was something. It was something obvious but small, and it was just enough to irritate me. But I can't think of what it was. Damn it! It'll probably come back to me later in the show, and I'll suddenly blurt out.
You'll scream it out during
I'll
like
blurt it
Brain's
out.
synopsis.
Yeah, no, it was a good episode. It built stuff, but I don't know. It felt like everything happened in this episode too quickly. I know it's ironic because it's a show about a fast guy, but it just felt they just packed too much into it, and they could have spread it out over 3-4 episodes and had it mean a little bit more. It feels like they're rushing something, and I hope it's just because they're trying to get to something good, but it feels like they're rushing something.
It could be at the same time. I mean, the reason Arrow, like, you probably preferred Arrow because you said it advanced 2 things.
Yeah.
They might still be a little bit hesitant because it is only season 1.
Yeah.
So, and with this generation of people, they've got a very small attention span.
The millennials.
Yeah, the millennials.
The damn millennials.
Fucking millennials. Always moving back home and eating my fries. So basically, I think it was a very solid episode in the fact that they went back, touched on stuff, they moved it forward a little bit, so it's a very incremental move forward.
Yep.
Because it's the first season. If it was like 2nd or 3rd season where people have gotten used to the character, like become attached to Barry and Wells and all that sort of stuff, they probably would have done that.
Yep.
But at the same time, because it's first season, they're still sort of going, it's a superhero with superpowers. You know?
Yeah, good point.
It's not just good with a bow and arrow.
Good point. I
So
think that's probably it too. But I guess that makes him more of a hero because he isn't just to do with a bow and arrow. He's lightning fast. So people are like, "Whoa, what is that?"
Yeah. So that's probably why, because it's the same genre, but it's a very different animal.
Yeah.
So
I can see
that's-
that. Okay, you've
that-
got a very valid
yeah.
point there. I'll give you that one.
Yep.
Now, I've remembered what it is. Well done with the conversation there, Terry. It is the fact that when they're looking through the files about Firestorm,
Oh, yeah.
you see that it was all taken by the army.
Yeah.
We pretty much guaranteed the Colonel's coming back.
Yep. That goddamn Colonel.
I'm looking forward to that because I get the feeling he and Wells are in there. There's a showdown coming between the two of them.
Actually, didn't we do some research? I'll have to come back, and I've actually I'm going to get a piece of paper and put it up here on the window here, just for like characters and references. Yeah. Just so we can turn and just go, aha, that guy. So I think I'll do that for now.
I mean, look, I knew he was coming back anyway because he ties into the Grodd storyline.
Yeah.
Very heavily.
Yep.
But I'm getting really... Sorry, what was that, Braden?
Maybe when he comes, that's when Grodd comes.
But that's what I was going to say. I've got a very bad feeling that we're not seeing Grodd until season 2. I really don't think we are. If we are seeing him, he's going to be what turns up right at the end of this season, and it's like, holy shit.
And you'll cry. You'll go, no!
I'll fucking break something, because I'll be like, fucking Americans, and you fucking winter when it isn't winter.
Yeah, no, right.
I'm going to turn it back on them now. You know how we're always on the wrong side of the planet? Fuck you. We're on the right side of the planet.
Yeah, well, it's all right. We're lucky we can stay on the Earth
without floating off.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm pretty much done.
I'll tell you what, America. We'll see who's got the real country here. Come here, walk in our wilderness for 5 minutes, see how long it is before something kills you. This is the real. That's what That's how you determine something. But who's the best? Well, you can't even survive here. We can live on the fucking sun with things that crawl up and eat you with one fucking gulp. That's how all 3 seconds, you're standing by a billabong taking a piss, crocodile, you're gone. So don't fucking come here and be all like, we got America, we got people with guns. We don't even need guns. Think about that. We had those animals and we were like, yeah, you can take our guns away. We don't fucking need them. So yeah, who's got the better country, America? Who's got the better country? Anyway, and now, over a review of Arrow.
All right, so this week our episode was called Left Behind. I'll start with our Hong Kong flashback. So in Hong Kong, we've got Amanda Waller briefing Oliver and Maceo. She tells them the bioweapon is actually in 2 pieces, and they will now need to grab the other piece, Alpha,
which was labelled Lambda.
Was it? I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I only know that because of Revenge of the Nerds, because they're the Lambda house.
Yeah,
and that's the symbol for it. And I'm like, son of a bitch.
Without it, China White's Omega half is harmless. The Alpha is in the possession of the Hong Kong military, but it must be destroyed. It is also mentioned that the Alpha has a GPS tracking device on it and will need to be destroyed before they leave. To Masayo's dismay, Waller doesn't even seem a little bit interested in getting back Tatsu. Later, Oliver ziplines through a window into the building where Alpha is being held. They grab the Alpha, but immediately become under attack from Triad forces. A gunfight breaks out, and Masayo tells Oliver to leave with the Alpha. Oliver runs into another Triad member, and they fight. Oliver gets the upper hand, but does not kill him and lets him escape. He is told that he shouldn't have hesitated and killed him instead. They meet up with Waller, who congratulates them on the mission, but she still doesn't care about Tatsu. After she leaves, Oliver tells Maceo that the reason he let the Triad go was that he put the GPS tracker in his pocket, so he'll lead them right to Tatsu. Maceo says, I will be forever in your debt. Alright, present day.
Finally.
We open with 2 bad guys engaged in a police chase. One of them shot a police officer and the other thinks he got a little carried away. Roy arrives and gives chase on a motorbike. Diggle shows up on the bridge ahead in the arrow suit and shoots explosive arrows at the truck to slow them down while Roy pulls one of the guys out of the back of the truck and leaves him for the police to take. We are now 3 days after Queen's not-so-successful fight with Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah.
None of the gang knows whether or not he is alive. Diggle and Roy seem less optimistic than Felicity about the chances Queen's still alive and think they should prepare to accept it. Ray Palmer asks Felicity to help him with the chip from his Atom suit that appears to be malfunctioning. Laurel makes sure the bad guy grabbed in the opening, an angry dude named Fisher, is denied bail. Felicity does a little more research and finds out Fisher's partner in the opening was a guy named Anton. They both work for a boss named Brick, who is new to the Glades. Back in Starling, Brick isn't too happy with Anton. He likes to maintain a low profile and thinks shooting the cop was sloppy. Anton is killed. And apparently Brick is resistant to bullets. Thea tells Malcolm she's worried about her brother. He agrees to look into it. Using a call Fisher's lawyer made to Brick, Felicity is able to find the warehouse where Anton was killed. Nobody is there, but they find Anton's body and a barrel full of evidence. Diggle manages to save some of the papers, which contains what appears to be random numbers. Malcolm shows up at Arrow HQ and asks whether they have heard from Oliver and assures them Raz never takes prisoners. Later on, Laurel shows up at HQ and the gang tells her that Oliver went to fight Raz and hasn't returned, so they fear he is dead. She's confident Oliver will be back as he has before. Malcolm gets super speed and visits the site where they took place to find the sword that killed Oliver, and then races back to Starling to show the guys at Arrow HQ.
Malcolm is the reverse Flash.
He's the magician. Holy shit. That would be fucking amazing if he was. It would break my brain. Well, they're like, wait, so is he Malcolm Merlin or is he Earboard Merlin?
Earboard Thorn.
Wait, what if Tommy is the reverse Flash?
The ultimate crossover they didn't see coming from
It was
season
right
1.
after the Lazarus Pit, he got the powers of speed and...
Yeah. Sorry, man.
Alright. So when he gets back, he tells them it's sure the sword is covered in Oliver's blood and it's sure to contain Oliver's blood. Malcolm admits that he is responsible for Queen's death, but reminds them it also means Raz will soon be coming for him. Thea asks Roy if perhaps the Arrow could look for her brother. He doesn't tell her about Oliver. Diggle discovers a match with the numbers they found in Brick's warehouse. The numbers match case files for the men they've put in jail over the past 8 months. All of them are muscle/enforcer types who are currently awaiting trial. They also find schematics for the building housing the evidence on those men. After confirming Oliver's blood is on the sword, Felicity is miserable. She tells Palmer what he's doing won't bring back his fiancée. We see Brick and his men break into the police evidence building. Diggle and Roy arrive and a huge battle ensues. At one point, Brick gets Diggle alone and starts pounding on him. Roy shows up last minute to save Diggle from Brick, but it doesn't stop him from leaving with the truck full of evidence. Just had a bit, sorry, I was just reading my notes there and just noticed a typo. Instead of saying the truck full of evidence, I wrote the truck fuck of evidence.
Beautifully done.
Oh, shit.
That is fuck full of evidence.
Oh, good. Alright. When they return to HQ, Felicity admits that she let Brick escape so he and his men would stop beating on them. She's clearly gun-shy about losing anybody else and thinks their entire operation is over. Felicity goes and apologizes to Palmer for being out of line. She says she's lost too many friends and won't help him do what she thinks is suicide. Laurel tells Diggle that most of the men Oliver put in jail have been let out due to lack of evidence. He says he's not sure if he's going to keep going. Malcolm tells Thea he doesn't know anything about her brother, but says they need to leave town immediately as they are in danger. Brick meets the men he got released. He's forcing them to be part of his crew under the threat of sending their evidence to the DA. He tells them, together we are going to take over the Glades. And then back over to whatever the name of the place is where we left Oliver's body. The hooded figure who had earlier approached Oliver's body is revealed to be Maceo. He has taken his body to a house in the area and knocked on the door, telling the person who answers it that he had nowhere else to go. Later we see Oliver wake up and he sees he's being taken care of by Maceo and Tatsu, who lives in the house that he's in. The end.
Great episode. Had a few faults in it, I won't lie, but great episode.
Yeah. Maceo, my man, Maceo.
Yeah?
Yeah, Maceo and Felicity, that were the stars for the episode for me.
Yeah, see, that's what I took away. The two things I took away from this episode in terms of growth were that Felicity is now... The reason that Felicity is why I gave this episode the episode of the week. She's my man of the week. Because Felicity is... She's going to that next step. She's not afraid to stand up to heroes.
Yep.
And that's something that these shows don't have enough of, is that character who isn't afraid to put their foot down.
Very
and
honest.
Yeah, exactly. And that's great. And I think that's going to help Ray Palmer more than it's going to help Oliver, because Ray needs somebody to help him because he's not trained.
Yeah.
So you've got that going for you. And the other thing that I really liked was the evolution of Laurel's character, because it's very clear that this is somebody who has been
Sorry,
trained.
I left that out, didn't I?
What's that? Oh, no,
I
you're right.
left that part out.
You're right. Or do you want to recap it now?
Laurel dressed up as Canary and kicked some dude.
Yep.
In the head.
And so what I took from that is that the fighting style is still very raw, and you can see she's still very undertrained, and you know that that's going to come into play. And I've seen interviews with the creator where he said his plan for Laurel is, we got Oliver Queen established already. He knows he's had his falls, he's taken his bruises, he's already a hero. She isn't. So we're actually going to see that journey. That's what Oliver is going to ultimately become, and that's where I think this season is going towards, is that Oliver isn't going to be able to come back and just put on the arrow suit. He's going to be hurt, so he's going to have to be that leader that's relying on... He's almost going to be Felicity for a while.
Yeah, absolutely.
Leading the team from wherever he is until whatever happens at the end of the season brings him back.
Makes Batman in... Was it Dark Knight Returns Part 2?
Exactly. That sort of a thing. And I think it's going to be something along... I can see one of two things happening. Either Slade Wilson comes back and Oliver has to put the suit on for that, or Ra's al Ghul comes into there and he realizes that there's only one person who can stop Ra's, and that is Slade.
Yeah.
And that's a fight I would fucking pay money to see. Slade Wilson versus Ra's al Ghul.
So we got two Aussies going toe-to-toe.
Kiwi and an Aussie.
No, I think we claimed didn't. No, we didn't claim. So Matt Noble, ex-rugby player.
Yep.
And Manu Bennett. Yeah. Probably an ex.
He'd be a rugby union player. Yeah. He's clearly a Maori.
Yeah.
Anybody who's listening to New Zealand, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'll go and ask my dad later, he's a Kiwi. You can't actually live in New Zealand, be male, and not play rugby.
Yeah. Okay.
It's against the law. It's in the Constitution.
Yeah.
Once you're 4, you must teach how to play rugby.
Yeah.
And then always keep your orange slices in the chili bin.
Yeah. In the chili bin.
In the chili bin.
In the chili bin.
In the chili bin next to your jandals. I did love this episode, but here's my faults with it. Okay, I only have 2 of them. This is number 1. I liked Diggle in the suit. Loved it. Loved the gag about it's too tight. Here's a question. Couldn't cut the fucking sleeves off it so you could still wear a disguise. You're just going to run around for the rest of it in a building that clearly has surveillance cameras because Felicity was watching you on them and saw your fucking face. You just go, yeah, I don't need a mask. I'm the only black guy in this fucking town.
Yep.
But I don't need a mask. That and the fact that I have noticed that really does annoy me, and that is that I don't have a problem when Oliver does it, because Oliver seems to be able to do something where when he's talking through his comm piece, his voice is very kind of soft, and you know it's only the person in the comm piece hearing it.
Yeah.
He's not yelling it, whereas when these idiots are in the warehouse yelling, Felicity! Diggle! It's like, John! It's like, maybe code names?
Yeah, maybe.
You know, Felicity Smoke. Here's an idea. Call her Smoke.
Yep.
Call Diggle. Just call him Black if you have to call him something. Just call him something. Give the fucker a mask or something.
Black Driver.
You know?
Or Black Spaniard.
Detective Diggle.
Detective Diggle.
And then fucking Joe will turn up and be like, don't take my name, son. And Diggle will be like, don't tell me what to do, man.
Son, man. Cut to next scene. Son, man. Next scene, they're in a bar having a beer.
Yeah, and then Flash runs in and Diggle spills his shit. He's like, how's that freak you out? Man. But no, that Diggle is my main problem because he's so good. And unless there is a reason and a payoff for this whereby his shit gets fucked up, he loses everything, and then they're like, here, have this power ring. Put a mask on him.
You're really hoping for that, aren't you?
Oh, well, dude, hoping. You don't understand. It's Green Lantern, Green Arrow. That's like Batman. It's like somebody being like, is Robin going to be in this Batman show? It's like, well, yeah.
Yes.
Eventually, because it's Batman and Robin, isn't it?
And then you'll be chanting, eventually. No, I mean...
And then somebody will be like, who's this eventual lead? Will this guy turn up or what?
Yeah, that's true. That's a nice... There goes. There's a superhero name, Eventual Lee. He'll come here, eventually. He'll save me, gradually.
Sorry, I'm late. I couldn't find my wallet.
Bus was running 10 minutes late.
Got a flat.
Got a
I had
flat.
to wait for the RAA. They're always late.
Always late. Oh god. Yeah. Off to the segue. No, this episode for me was it's kind of like for me. It was good because they introduced a really strong villain in Brick.
Oh yeah,
Vinnie Jones, fuck, he doesn't age well, but my god, is he? I don't want to upset him. I didn't want
well,
to.
he is known as.
He's a hard man. He's a hard man.
Football's hard man.
He's a football.
Yeah.
Like I've seen his Manchester games. He squirrel gripped someone.
Yep.
Just because they were there.
Yep.
I didn't want to upset this man in Eurotrip. Like I
Yeah.
watched Eurotrip and like I don't want to upset him.
Yeah.
I didn't want to upset him in Lock, Stock and Two Smoke Barrels.
You don't want anything.
He's just
Intense.
he's angry.
Yeah.
But I guarantee he'd be like, you walk up to him, want a beer? Sure, I'll buy the first round. He'll
if
probably
you
be
were
polite.
if you were, he's one of those guys. I think if you give him the respect, he'd give it back. But
Yeah.
if you're a dick, he'd be like, "I'm gonna punch your face, son."
Actually, I'd probably let him punch my face just to say I was punched by Vinnie Jones and I'm still alive.
Yeah, but I don't think you get punched once by Vinnie Jones. I think Vinnie Jones finishes the job. You know what I'm saying?
This is
Knock
true.
all your teeth out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. I mean,
Knock all your teeth out and punch, squirrel grip you and fling you around the room.
but I was like, wee. No, I mean, Vinnie Jones for me was probably like the real strong cornerstone of this because he brings up it's that English
Toughness.
toughness. Yeah, it's the hard man.
They come from a country where it always fucking rains. Of course you're gonna. Those guys come out intense because they're like, "Is this the sun?
I don't like it one bit.
Like it's hurting my skin."
Someone's gonna pay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that for me, I like the evolution of Roy as well. Like
Yep.
I went back and watched some of the old classic series 3, like the crossovers, and where they took on Captain Boomerang and Roy fell over twice.
Yep.
And lost his weapon twice. This episode didn't lose his weapons.
Yeah, it was anything. He
He-
went off
he-
this way.
he
He ran through a barrel, flipped over the top, and ran on top of the fucking thing.
And then jumped off to the other barrel, jumped down, and knocked some dude in the teeth
Yeah.
with his bow.
He went off, man.
So I mean, but I think we were discussing earlier on though, like you know how we made the similarities between our favorite Batman and this Oliver Queen, and
Yes.
how they're very parallel.
You can see the
his
Nightwing.
Nightwing
He's
Dick
Nightwing.
Grayson, and
Yeah.
because I'm pretty sure Arsenal in the comic doesn't have the Kempo sticks,
I
does he?
don't think Arsenal's Kempo
So
sticks.
like this Arsenal was very much Nightwing. He's very acrobatic, and I think that's why if you compare Roy or Colton
He's
Haynes
also
now,
smaller and chunkier, much
Yeah.
like you were. Like Dick Grayson isn't meant to be huge. He's meant to be like 5'8" at the most.
yeah. So
Yeah.
like if you compare Colton Haynes now to when we first saw him in, I think it was season 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He's actually really stocky. He's that Amber Crombie,
Yeah,
good-looking
he's
guy.
built
But
up now.
this, he's like slimmed right down. And I thought, well, actually, I was thought and slash hoping it might be for the heroine storyline. But he's actually slimmed right down because the acrobatics he's going to start pulling off,
Yeah,
which
probably.
I was very impressed with.
But it also means he's committing to his part properly as well, which is great.
which is really good.
All right, here's a question for you both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, now the gun that Diggle shoots Brick with, is
Yeah.
it now? I want to know, is that gun sighted wrong and he only got glanced, or how the fuck is Brick bulletproof?
Yeah, that's what is he bulletproof? What's
I actually,
go?
I have a feeling it's a trick gun.
That's what I thought.
Because
I thought
have
it
you
was
noticed it's
sighted
always
wrong.
this? No, it's not sighted wrong.
Okay.
Basically, if you take a blank,
Yeah.
which is essentially just gunpowder and cotton wadding, if you shoot it from about 3 or 4 feet away, I saw that fantastic movie Doom. I watched the
with our mate the Dwayne Rock.
Yeah, that's it. I actually watched the gunplay, sort of like the actors using the actual guns on a styrofoam mannequin head.
Yep.
The blanks are really deadly from about a foot away. From
Okay.
about 3 feet away, right, the cotton wad just comes out really fast and goes pink on your head. So my theory, the character is actually filling them with like half-shot cotton wad bullets. So it gives that impression of being bulletproof. I mean, how better way to give this
And it also makes sense because
embodiment.
I thought it must be something. Because how can an arrow hit you if a bullet can't?
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Yeah, because you're right. Because it's
But
always
that
the same
comment
gun.
was made too.
sorry.
In who was it? Roy made that
Yep.
comment too.
Yeah, but
Seems
bullets
that
don't work.
arrows work better on this guy than bullets do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, can you imagine if you want to take over the Glades and use this one gun, and every time someone betrays you, you give them this one gun. It's always this one gun, and you're always the one that loads it.
Yeah.
What better
Yeah.
way to build this mystique about yourself
Yeah,
that
no
is
shit.
bulletproof?
Yeah.
Simple as that. Guarantee Oliver will put an arrow through the guy's head. Or
Actually,
Roy.
I'll guarantee Oliver will put the gun to his head and pull it.
Mm. Yep.
And do the whole like instead of shooting him, he'll shoot himself to prove that there's nothing to be scared of, and everybody else will be like, "Holy shit!"
Yep, he's just a big dude that can punch.
Yeah.
So,
But also, like, his henchman at that point, like, think about it, if you build him up on that and then you take the gun and shoot yourself point blank and you survive it, who are you going to support? The dude that can glance bullets or the dude that can eat one to the head?
Yeah.
So I mean, that for me, I thought about that hugely because I saw him like, yeah, you see him sort of like he got shot in the arm from the first guy.
Yeah, the first one he gets shot in the arm and Diggle shoots
And
him in the
there's-
head and he makes the combat. Nobody generally goes to the headshot.
Yeah, so like, and he bleeds a little bit, so
Yeah.
maybe it's a cotton water, if it's a half load, or all it needs is the sound and the muzzle flash, and people go, oh my god,
Yeah,
it's a
that's
gun.
cool.
So for me, that's
That would be a really cool thing if it is that. I'd love that.
no, for me, that's just a perfect way to build mystique about yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
All right, Ray. You've done your recaps.
The
What
only
do
thing
you
I was
thought?
really disappointed about with this was, I guess, the lack of emotion from, and I know that was what they were sort of trying to do, but from Diggle and Roy,
yeah.
they were sort of.
I
don't
still
know, they
think
were- they
I
were
get the
trying
feeling
to
Diggle
prepare
hasn't given up
themselves for
hope.
it, but it just seems so.
Yeah.
They were like so blank about it.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, for me, Diggle always seems like that guy with a purpose.
Yeah.
Like he said, I think he said in the show, Oliver always told me to stay focused, and I can only see 1 inch in front of me.
One thing in front of
and
me. Yeah.
I've got the evidence in front of me right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he seems very military, very focused. I mean, that's maybe why you're hoping for Jon Stewart.
Yeah, well,
So-
that's what I think. You
yeah.
see now how for me, if you're an Owen,
Yeah.
right, and you're looking for somebody to give this ring to,
Yeah.
you're looking at this guy who's just lost his friend, and all the rest of them are freaking out. He's
he's
just
just
like,
trying to
I
stay
need to
focused.
continue the mission.
Yep.
Oliver might be gone, but he was about something bigger, and it needs
Yep.
to continue.
Yeah.
That is the guy you give a ring to.
Yeah. And Roy, I mean, Roy's kind of an interesting character where he's got this weird relationship with Speedy, or Thea, and he's also got this weird, it is still a different relationship with Oliver.
Yeah.
And then he's got Felicity. So I'm envisioning him as just being as a teen because you always see him clean shaven, and he's not like a 22-year-old
Yeah.
street though. He's very clean shaven, so he's still probably meant to be representing the 16 to 18-year-old
I think
category.
he is meant to be. Yeah.
So emotionally, while he doesn't show it, and I've seen on his Facebook he's only got the blue steel, but he's probably internally, the character is probably trying to balance all this stuff.
yeah.
So
Well,
I mean,
he does act with his eyes.
he
He
does
might
a
not show
lot.
with his face, but his eyes emote a lot,
Yeah.
and I think that's where
I
he
mean,
sells from.
yeah, like that scene where Thea asks him to ask Arrow to go find Oliver.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, I want to tell you so bad. It's downstairs. It's downstairs. But, you know, like, he can't. Like, so he's very torn
Yeah.
that way. So, and you imagine being a 16 to 18-year-old, or even a 14 to 18-year-old with that sort of burden on you.
Yeah, exactly.
You would be
Well, he's
kind
going to
of
be 18
deadpan.
because he's working at, or 21 or something.
Oh, he's
'cause working
21.
in a bar.
Yeah,
But
then-
I think in
yeah.
terms of what you're saying, yeah, kids represent 16 to 18-year-olds will feel closer to him
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
he looks more like
Yeah,
him.
absolutely.
Because, like, if we know anything from Dawson's Creek and those shows, it's that if you're 25, you're only 18 on TV.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah, no, it's... You hit something on the head there in what is... Flash is creating all this conflict that none of the characters know that they're in conflict with each other.
Yep.
Whereas Arrow is doing it the other way where they're conflicting with each other to each other's faces. And I think that's what from a storytelling point, I prefer because you're getting proper character growth every time they talk.
Yeah.
And everything they say is for a purpose.
Yeah.
And I really like that. And I really like this idea. Like I say, I get the feeling that Felicity means it. She's done.
Yeah, I reckon
Yeah.
she is done.
She's done, and she's staying with Ray. And even when Oliver comes back, she's going to be like, I'm not going through it again.
Yep. Like, we'll root a couple times, but no, I'm done.
Yeah. Exactly. Whereas, and so Oliver's going to come back, and he's going to have then you've got Diggle.
Yep.
You've got Ray. Sorry, you've got Roy, not Ray. You've got Diggle. You've got Roy. You've got eventually Speedy, and now you've got Canary.
Yeah.
And you've probably got Nissa as well. I'm willing to bet.
Oh, God, I hate that character.
But still, that's five. That's 4 or 5.
That's a very
people
good...
that you can. That's a proper unit
you'll,
you can
you'll
control.
have Tatsu.
Yeah, Tatsu. No, isn't she? She's part of the Canary... what is it?
Birds of Prey.
That's the
Birds of
one.
Prey. Yeah, that'll turn up later on.
So that'll turn up later on. Then Maseo. I'm kind of keen to find out...
Maseo has to be in. I would not be surprised if there's actually Maseo is a double agent in the league, or if he's in the league because that Tatsu's dead.
Yeah.
Because the look on Oliver's face when he saw her was I'm seeing a ghost.
Yeah, what the actual...
Which has to mean she's dead, and that's who the pit is going to raise, and that's what it's going to be. It's I had an option of bring back my wife and says Raza al Ghul, or lose everything.
Yeah.
I made the only choice possible.
Yep, absolutely. And
But
that'll
I'm
be
not going to watch you die.
Yeah, that's a fantastic... I mean, Maseo's got this... As soon as I saw him, I knew they were going to actually build this character, but I'm kind of curious how far they're going to go.
I think Maseo is if you looked at it from the Slade storyline, where it was very clear Slade was being built all along to be something bigger. And those of us who understood it, it was like, okay, he's going to become Deathstroke, but it's still watching the evolution of it was very cool. I think Maseo is the other side of that coin. Whereas, you know, whatever like we know what turned Slade, and it turned him just vicious. The other way happens with Maseo, where Maseo becomes disciplined. And he joins the League because of whatever, but the League offers that discipline and that outlet. But he's not a psychopath. And I think that's what it comes down to. I honestly think Maseo, Oliver, he meant it in this episode when he said, "I owe you a life step." And that's what this is. This is that our debt is clear. Not in a bad way, just consider us, we're even. But I think that's, you know, that from Maseo is a great, that's a great character trait, that even after his wife has obviously died and he's gone through whatever, he's still like, Oliver, you are my friend and you're an honourable man. You don't need to die. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the interesting thing. I just had something pop into my head, and it's a Joss Whedon show, Buffy. Remember that? How they brought Buffy back from dead?
And
they had the musical. The question is Oliver going to have that point where he's upset that he's been brought back because he was dead? He didn't have to do it anymore. Like, so that's the question. Is he going to go through this?
I think his life focus will change now, because
I think it'll be about protecting Thea now, because Raz will go after Malcolm.
The
truth will come out, and it'll be about protecting Thea.
No, I just think...
Well, that's what, of course, we put the suit back on for sure with Thea.
It'll be Thea.
I think that you're going to get an Oliver now who looks at life differently. Because being dead has to change a man. You know, and I think he's going to look at it, he's going to understand now that he needs to protect himself, because dead he can't do anything, and maybe he's been being a bit too pig-headed. But I think you're going to see also that side of, well, I've been dead once. And in the comic books, you know, he's died a few times, and he keeps joking around that, like, And even in that, hasn't he said, I'm sure he hinted at some point in dialogue in this that he's been dead before. Something to with Felicity where she said something about dying, and he was like, not this time.
I think it was Laurel said he's been dead before.
Yeah, it was Laurel.
Laurel said he's been dead before. He was dead on the island. I've already been told he's been dead before or something along those lines.
But I'm sure, I'm sure that also he's made the comment of, like, somebody says you'll die, and his comment was not this time. You know, and I think that's... Well, that I can actually see, that'll be his line now when he goes to fight Raz, because obviously eventually Raz and Oliver are on a collision course, and his line will be, if you fight him again, you'll die.
It's not this time.
Not this time. So
absolutely.
I did read online though that is it Tatsu, Maseo's wife's name's Tatsu? Her in the comic book, she has a set of swords that actually collect the souls of the people they kill. Now the theory that I read online is you're the only person I could come to bring him back. Is because Oliver just happened to pick those swords. So he was killed with the sword that absorbed his whole. The only person that can release the soul from the sword.
But the sword's in Starling City. Malcolm took it.
Yeah, that's true. He did.
Yeah. Balls.
Oh, whatever.
Unless they overlooked that as well and went, oh no.
or you know, maybe it's just a subtle nod at the fact that...
Yeah, it could be.
Or maybe he needs to get the sword back. Because Oliver, is he dead or is he dying? Because I thought he was dying. I don't think he's dead yet. I thought
he didn't get stabbed through the heart. Yeah, he got
through the lung.
But yeah, I don't know.
Because that's the thing. It does take a little while. It takes a while to bleed out. You're in the cold. Like in the cold, just in terms of actual survival for something like that. He's in the perfect condition to survive longer because your blood isn't coming out as quickly. So what I'm wondering is when he's been bandaged up. That's it. Because there's still blood and shit all over that bandage. If Maseo has just pressurized the wound, dragged him, and he's like, I'm coming to you because you're the only person who can save him. That's Oliver, because you got to think from a literal standpoint. Malcolm said, I went there, I didn't see a body. But he found the sword. So he has to have been where the body is, because did Raz pull the sword out?
No, he leaves it there as a memorial for the fallen.
Right. So if the sword's not in Oliver, right, you get my point? Now, what I'm saying is that the time that between Maseo getting Oliver, that might only be 30 minutes.
Yeah, because I was actually about to say he hasn't been on the side of the mountain for 3 days. He'd be dead.
Exactly.
Right. And so when you get him there, he's sort of unconscious, dragging, then the heat, being bandaged.
Yeah, and he's slowly kind of coming in and out of the haze, and I think that's what we're in that phase. So he's still technically dying.
Yeah, he's
It's
critical.
He's critical, exactly.
Yeah.
He's in critical condition, but he's not dead yet.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's just miraculously risen. That's why I think we're going to see an Oliver who's fucked up for a little while
Yeah,
because...
and that's why everyone's angry, going, "Oh, the lads are at the pit." I'm like, he's been stabbed for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly, that's my point. If it just feels like long because we haven't seen the show for 2 weeks. If it had been 1 week, they wouldn't have said anything. So, but yeah, well, it's nearly time for the main event. But before we get to that, as always, I'd like to address any questions we've had for the week. I got sent a PM one myself, a private message for those at home that don't speak shorthand. This it was from someone. I don't know if they're a real person or not. If they're fucking with me. It's from New South Wales. The name's Sue Donim. So I don't know what's going on there. But the question is just simply, if we could have any superheroes' genitals, which ones would they be and why?
Oh, great.
So Sue, I've given this some thought and I've got some answers coming up for you soon.
Fantastic.
Now, did anybody else get any questions?
I got one from a lady named, I think it's pronounced Kayla Ingles.
Okay.
Ingles?
Okay.
Not too sure.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a weird foreign name.
Yeah, foreign. Sounds foreign.
Mm.
So she's asked, do
Mexican?
we think Katie Cassidy has what it takes to pull off the role of Black Canary?
That's good. I actually had one.
Yeah, we didn't get into that narrow, so that's a good question.
Yeah, and my partner before I left, she's a loving supporter of Batcave. Mm-hmm. She actually asked me because she's been endeavouring to educate herself with all things DC, which is admirable and lovely. She came across an image on Google search which had all I think it's about 30 different types of bat symbol.
I actually have a poster in my entrance.
Yeah, in the Bat Hall.
Yeah, in the Bat Hall of Justice.
The Bat Hall of Justice.
Sorry, the Bat Hall of Justice League.
Yeah, there you go. She was actually asking which one is the most, I think it was, she used the words prominent and recognised as
So
the
like
original.
iconic.
Yeah, iconic, that's the word. You and your $10 words.
$10 words coming out of a $50 voice.
So she just wants to ask our opinion on what we see as the most iconic one.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I think it's fair, because sometimes I look at them and go, where did that one come from?
Yeah.
All right. Well, and what I might do for that one is whatever three we pick now.
Yeah.
If you're not sure what they are, go to our Facebook page, and that will be this week's show image.
Yep.
Instead of a jokey one, I'll put up the bat symbols that we define as our picks.
Absolutely.
So yeah. All right. Well, that brings us into the movie for this week. So here we go.
And now for our feature presentation.
You wanted more, and it's here. Batman and Mr. Freeze, Subzero. Deep within the frozen Arctic.
Nora!
The love of Victor Freeze was shattered.
There aren't any deceased donors that match. Then we'll have to use a live donor.
Hi, Dad. Sorry I'm late.
Hang on! An all-new feature-length adventure. Batman animation beyond anything you've seen before.
Let me go!
I want my daughter found!
Don't worry, sir. We're on it.
Brace yourself! If I'm not back in time, go without me!
What? Wait!
Look out! Subzero. From Warner Brothers Family Entertainment. Own it. Only on video.
That's right. This week it's Batman Subzero, which is of course one featuring Mr. Freeze. A little bit of trivia before I get into this. This was meant to be released in 1997. You might remember another little film with Mr. Freeze came out in 1997, and it sucked so badly. Thank you, Terry, for the head knock there. It sucked so badly that this film was postponed a year and was sent straight to DVDs.
Another reason to hate Joel Schumacher.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so here we go. Here's the plot for this film. Since his last encounter against Batman, Mr. Freeze has found a home in the Arctic and started a family of sorts with the still cryogenically encased Nora, an Inuit boy named Kunak, and two pet polar bears named Hotcha and Shaka. Nora's condition begins to rapidly deteriorate due to a submarine accidentally emerging from underwater directly beneath them, shattering her containment vessel. Freeze returns to Gotham City with his companions and enlists the help of Dr. Gregory Belson to find a cure. Belson determines that Nora needs an organ transplant, but due to her rare blood type, which I'll leave because it's not a rare blood type. But anyway, which due to her rare blood type, there are no suitable donors available. Anyway, we'll leave that one to the side for the moment. I'll try that again. I went a bit loud for my mic there, sorry. Freeze declares that they will use a live donor even if it means the donor will die in the process. Belson is at first reluctant to kill an innocent girl, but Freeze bribes him with a gold nugget and even more gold from an entire vein in the Arctic that will put an end to Belson's financial problems. Barbara Gordon, also known as Batgirl, is a perfect match, and Freeze learns from her roommate that she's at a restaurant with her boyfriend, Dick Grayson. He's also got another name in this. I think it was Bob, but I'm not sure. Somebody could hit me up on Facebook and let me know what Dick Grayson's alter ego is. That could be great. Anyway, Freeze attacks the restaurant and kidnaps Barbara, taking her to an abandoned oil rig where he and Belson are hiding. Freeze and Belson explain the situation to Barbara, who claims she is willing to help Nora for the blood transfusion, but not at the oil rig, prompting Freeze to keep Barbara imprisoned. When the time comes for the operation, Barbara realizes they are lying when they say she will need to be put under for a mere transfusion, and escapes with the help of Kunak. Belson gives pursuit and almost catches her before the arrival of Batman and Robin. That's who it was, Robin. Came back to me.
Good.
Yes. Freeze follows, and in the ensuing confrontation, Belson accidentally shoots one of the fuel tanks and starts a rapidly spreading fire as Freeze traps Batman and Robin. Freeze insists that Belson perform the operation despite the oil rig blazing and ready to explode, but Belson betrays Freeze and attempts to escape alone, only to be killed by falling wreckage. Freeze's leg is broken, but he tells Batman to save Nora and Kunak first, along with Barbara. Nora, Kunak and Barbara are taken to safety in the Batwing with the help of Robin, but Batman fails to save the weakened Freeze in time as the platform collapses beneath them, hitting him in the shoulder and sending Freeze plummeting into the ocean below. Batman manages to get back to the Batwing and get aboard just before the oil rig finally explodes, but Freeze also escapes just in time, holding on to the swimming Hotchka and Shaka. Freeze then returns with his polar bears to the Arctic to resume his life alone, having frozen his leg in an ice cast. He sees on television in a research station that Nora has been revived after an organ transplant operation funded by Wayne Enterprises, moving him to tears of joy, which promptly freeze on his face. Then he walks away limping with a wooden stick for support, with his two polar bears for companions, as the screen fades to black. And that is Batman Subzero, which quite honestly was one of the most touching films I've ever seen.
It is. I mean, from my point of view, I think there's very rarely a good solid love story in a comic series. You've got the sort of like the millennials. I suppose we'll refer to that to tip the hat to Barry and his use of the term
I think we need to call this episode Millennials.
Millennials. And when I say millennials, people born after 2000 because they've been majorly exposed to, say, Captain America and all that sort of stuff. So Captain America and Peggy's love story, that I actually like that. But when it comes to villains, they're always very one-dimensional, especially sort of like for our generation, we had Penguin hitting on Catwoman, which is kind of creepy. But this Dr. Freeze...
the fucked up Harley...
You've
Harley
got the
Joker one.
Then you've got this Dr. Freeze or Mr. Freeze and Nora Freeze love story, which for me is always phenomenal because it is timeless. It's a very simple, very elegant sort of love story.
Freeze isn't a villain, that's why. He is, but it's
how he
wants to still... The point of this film ultimately is the reason Freeze walks away at the end is because he's got no need to be Mr. Freeze anymore. She's alive.
She's
alive. That's all he wanted was for her to be cured.
That's it.
And he knows he can't be with her anymore. He just wants her alive, and
that's it.
He's happy.
It's one of those things, and that sort of you pointed out earlier with how Batman acts towards Freeze. So he gets to the point where he takes him to Arkham Asylum, and he goes, "You're in a cell. You've got all your gadgets here. Your wife's over there in the corner. Do what you need to do. But just don't go running away."
He doesn't it's like I said, it's not. He treats Freeze with respect because he understands that's what was wrong with the Batman and Robin was Freeze was stealing all this shit, and it was never he was stealing it for his suit or for other things, but it was always for selfish.
It was the puns he needed to go away for that.
But it was always for selfish means. Whereas Mr. Freeze himself is quite a selfless character because it's like I I will do whatever it takes to save my wife.
I will kill whoever gets in the way.
He's motivated by something very different.
He's motivated by love.
Yeah, that's just it.
And I think that's what Batman understands, because he's the same. He's ultimately, as fucked up as it is, he's motivated by the love of his parents.
Yeah.
And so he sees in Freeze this broken kindred spirit who's like, you know, I know what you want. If Nora and the research is all that matters, I'll give you her. We will take care of what you need for research here, so that you can be safe and secure.
And the thing is, it's the most. The reason why it's so beautiful is because it's been consistent over a period of, say, 20 years. Yeah. Whenever Freeze got introduced.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying that, and it's resonant through the video games, like what is it, Arkham City, where you fly.
Yeah, Arkham City.
You know, and it's just all that storyline is that little submission plot is get what you can for Freeze to help his wife, and it's always to help wife.
Yeah.
It's never.
He's selfless.
Yeah.
He does not do anything for himself. It's for her.
Yeah.
Everything is for Nora.
That's it. I mean, and you know, Dick Grayson being absolutely massive in this. He's drawn huge. He's a big boy. So, you know, as far as animated cartoons, it's one of the sort of benchmarks you have to sort of watch until you get into the more later, darker stuff. Like
so you get into stuff now where it's proper, fully computer generated. This was nice.
That's one of the things we did point out. This is sort of like just the very start of computer generated animation.
I called it's computer generated cells or things like the submarines. So the backgrounds and the foregrounds are computer generated, but all the characters are hand drawn.
Yeah. And they're beautifully hand drawn. That's the thing. It's
the old school, but it's on the black card, like we've discussed with the animated series before. It's that black card.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sort of thing. So no, it's a film that it's got action sequences. It's not, but ultimately it's not action packed. It's not meant to be. It's not about that. The core of this is just simply Mr. Freeze wants to save his wife.
Yeah,
that's all it is. And that's what I mean. Like it's very rare that you see a Batman villain get the end of their story.
Yeah,
because their whole point is to keep coming back and to keep.
Causing mayhem.
You've got to be in the next comic.
Yeah.
It was also the same with, because this was a sequel to Mask of Phantasm.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you were saying, you don't normally see sort of the end story for the villain, but, you know, Joker died in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, that's true. Well, he disappeared.
They've got a third movie after this one as well.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, they do.
Ooh.
I forget what it's called now, but I was reading about it earlier, and so I'll be interested to see where that one goes. But
maybe that might be the one we look at next week then.
Yeah, I mean, it could definitely
finish up the trill.
Yeah, this trilogy is definitely shaped up better than the Nolan trilogy. It'll end better, I know that much. It'll be more consistent. So yeah, it's. I forgot what I was going to say, but it's the true villain in this movie is the Doctor
Belson.
Yeah, Belson, who gets messed up at the end, which is great.
Yeah.
But you don't see him messed up, so that's the thing. It's implied, and this implies a lot, so the kids can watch it.
Yeah.
And adults can watch it and go, this is the Batman that I know.
The only thing I didn't like about this, though, or I guess the one big core in my drawer, or whatever you pronounce it, sticking in my jaw, is that it takes place on an oil rig.
Yeah.
And so did the end of Batman Forever. And it's like, come on. You could have come up with a better
Batman Forever. That's the Val Kilmer one.
That's the one with Jim. Because remember Two-Face, he throws Two-Face off into the hole.
No, that wasn't really an oil rig. That was like a.
That was Batman and Robin.
No, Val Kilmer.
No, Batman and Robin. No,
Batman.
It's Batman Forever because it's the Riddler. Because he drops the two. He drops Chase and he drops Robin and says you can only catch one or the other.
Yeah, that's the Val Kilmer one. That's not really an oil rig. That's not normal.
That was that big tower.
That was his big helmet-looking thing. The thing that you strapped to your head. He actually had that.
Ah, yeah, that's true.
So there you go. So so this movie is quite good for you then.
Yeah,
excellent.
Gripes gone.
In saying that though, how many abandoned oil rigs are there?
In America, a lot
apparently.
Yeah, from what I gather,
and
there's a lot.
Abandoned warehouses.
Oh yeah, that's.
How many abandoned warehouses are in Starling?
Mind you, I was talking to Terry during this film. I've got a feeling this is set around World War II, so there probably are a lot of abandoned shit because everybody's at war.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, the style is absolutely phenomenal. You called it steampunk before steampunk was cool, and that's very accurate. It's very, you can see movies where it's like the world of tomorrow, and it's pretty much this city in 10 years' time, but with more electricity. You know, it's a very funky, cool town.
You brought up, it's that Future World's Fair where they're like, in the 1930s, they were like, look at what we're going to have soon.
Yeah.
That's what it's drawn to look like.
Yeah. And
it's drawn to look like that. What if, what if the world had come true the way they wanted it? And it almost works better because it's like, if the world had come true the way you wanted it, it'd be fucked and we'd need Batman.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. But we would have Batman and then you would be happy.
I don't think anybody in Gotham City is happy.
Well, Batman is because he's wealthy, you know, and the bitches.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what the comic book is about, a happy guy. That's what I read. I'm like, this Batman, he's just so jolly. Always skipping around with a smile.
That reminds me of, what is it, Batman Brave and the Bold? There's that one episode where he has to paint his outfit like all shades of the rainbow or something like that. I think it had to do something with Prism or something like that, or the Rainbow Warrior.
Yeah,
or whatever it was. I saw that once and it's just like... I've saved that as like just a JPEG
even
image.
Though Batman Brave and the Bold, though, even if you watch that, he's still
very serious.
Adam West serious. It's just
very,
like,
yeah.
Come on, we can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that, all chum.
So
yeah.
No, I highly recommend. Once again, we're stuck in a movie where there's not bad shit to say. Watch it. It's an hour long. Yeah. Just watch it. You can
do the ironing. The kids will sit there.
Yeah, we of course don't encourage the use of torrents or anything like that. You can hire it on Amazon for $2.99.
Yep.
It's an hour long. It's worth. Trust me, it's worth $3.
It's better than going to go see the new Hunger Games.
I thought we were going to try to go an episode without J-Law. But since you brought it up, Braden, we were talking this week about how much we really do like J-Law again. Have you had any further thoughts on how great she was?
I just miss her.
Yeah.
I miss her so much.
So do I. I was thinking today to myself that I wish that Canary in Arrow could get a bow and arrow, because then she'd be just like Katniss.
Yeah.
That's what they're missing. Is Katniss. Katnissary. Terry's seething and he's trying to drink coffee and stay calm, and I don't think it's working. Was that the sound? I think that was the sound of J-Law's vagina breathing in.
Yeah, and
dribbling.
Off to save another day. All right. Well, I think that has anybody any other thoughts on this film?
Look, it's not the best film you're going to see, Batman.
No, I felt like Mask of Phantasm was better.
Yeah.
But like I sat down, I watched this twice trying to write notes about it, and I couldn't.
Yeah.
Because it was just, it was a decent movie.
Yeah.
Well, there's nothing to really pick apart and faults, is there?
The start of it was Tim Burton's Batman's music.
I actually like
Danny Elfman's music. I do. I love that music.
Yeah. For me, Danny Elfman is up there as one of the best composers. Like, that's just how that is.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, he gets his... is it Danny Elfman? Yeah, Danny Elfman gets his head ripped off by the guys at Family Guy all the time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, for...
So does John Williams, though.
Yeah, John Williams.
In fairness, they pick on anybody who writes...
decent music.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's up there with John Williams for me.
Yeah.
And Hans Zimmerman and all that sort of stuff. And I love the soundtrack of Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
And basically Star Wars. It's
like
iconic.
Danny Elfman, I mean, anything Tim Burton's done, you'll find Danny Elfman on. Also the Simpsons theme.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's just it.
Quite a few others. He does quite eclectic, weird things that you wouldn't think he did.
Like he did The Little Things, a song from the Wanted movie Wanted. With and like when I heard that, I'm like, that's not Danny Elfman singing, and it is. So, I mean, he's one of the all-rounders, and I actually really like that music for Batman. If Nolan Trilogy had Burton's intro music, I would have been even happier with the first two.
See, there was something to be said for that time, because if you go back and, for instance, the old Superman film, the Superman theme actually, if you listen to it, the start of it actually, the music blares the word Superman. Da, da, da. It's Superman, and if you listen to the Batman theme, it actually is saying, "I am Batman." I am the Batman now. That's what the theme is, literally.
That's a good thing about John Williams, and because John Williams did the music for Superman.
Yep.
So that's a good thing about those two, because like they both seem to pay respect to the character.
Yeah.
And not like, hey, we've sold 12 million records last year. Let us do the soundtrack, Linkin Park. So it's just one of those things.
Yeah.
And it's not even a soundtrack; it's just another fucking record. So
yeah.
Yeah. So that's. It's probably a good... I'd give it a 6.5, 7 out of 10.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I'd probably give it 7 to an 8.
Yeah.
Because
it's enjoyable as well.
I think the thing that this film does that it doesn't get enough credit for is Mr. Freeze is a villain that doesn't get used often enough and is never used right for the most part.
I was thinking that earlier as well. The only times I've seen him on screen in anything is this.
Yep.
Fucking Arnie.
Yep.
And Arkham City.
Yeah.
Yep.
Arkham City was I loved him in Arkham City.
Arkham City was just this Freeze.
Is bang on.
It's just this Freeze.
So everyone but the live action movie community can do Freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
But that's why I think if you like Batman and you want to understand why this character is great and why he has been in comics for 60-something years, 50 years, watch this movie because this literally, and like I say, it gives you a start to finish of Freeze. You get to see, finally get to see a villain have an ending that isn't death.
See, the thing is, villain seems a bit wrong. It's almost anti-hero, but worse than anti-hero. He's a bad guy. He's not a villain.
Yeah,
he's a bad guy, not a villain, I'd say.
Or rogue.
Yeah, maybe.
So yeah, all right. Well, let's move into question time. I'll tell you what. Let's start off with Braden's question. What do you got?
So, do we think Katie Cassidy has what it takes to pull off the role of Black Canary?
Ooh.
So, I mean, obviously she's Laurel Lanson is Black Canary, but she's stepping into a very different... Her character is changing in a very huge way. I don't know. I think it's very hard to see. I mean, I'm not familiar with Katie Cassidy and anything else.
Same. Yeah, I'm in that same boat. From my point of view, I suppose, I do apologise if I keep interjecting. The character development that I've seen through 1 through 3 has been really, and she's really intense, actually. If you think about it, she's had a huge amount of evolution and development.
Yeah, she's on the right track.
Yeah, and this isn't, I don't know if this is a reference to her as an actress or as her character that she's portraying, but as an actress, I think she can.
Yeah.
We saw her essentially, and this isn't in a sexist way, but slim down through season 2, or she tapered off at season 2 physically. She became
toned.
She toned that. Yeah.
I think she started working superhero working out, not just eating right.
Yeah. So so physically, I mean, she can.
She looks like
the part. She looks like a canary.
Yeah.
As an actress, I think she can. I really can. It's almost hashtag I believe in Katie Cassidy.
Yeah. See, for me, it's canary in the costume. Yeah, because it's something I'll maintain as a superhero. The easiest part is the costume.
Yeah.
Once you put the costume on, it's not that hard to be Batman or be the Flash or be Captain America because you've got the costume.
The costume, yeah.
The costume it help. You're in your suit.
Yeah.
Whereas it's going to be the moments where because Laurel's going to get hurt.
Oh yeah.
And she's going to be the one that falls and stumbles, and those are the moments where we're going to see whether or not she can do it because Stephen Amell has this amazing broken quality to him that even though he's broken and he's hurt, you still trust him and you still know he's a hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see if she can do that, if she can make us feel compassionate for her, because I don't want this to end up in a situation where she's a kick-ass character, but whenever she tries to have that personal growth, she just becomes Barbara Gordon from Gotham.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
Yeah.
I want somebody who's going to, Felicity's growing in a way where she's becoming strong without ever needing to putting a suit.
Yeah.
Laurel's going the opposite way.
Yeah.
She's becoming stronger by putting on the suit, and I want to see that spill into her everyday life.
Yeah.
Properly.
Yeah.
In the same way that Oliver is always Arrow.
Yeah.
Diggle is always Detective Diggle.
Yeah. Roy is always Arsenal in
Exactly.
some faction.
So that's
Yeah.
that's what I want. But yeah, time will tell. I do think she does. I think that so far everything they've cast from Flash to this, they haven't fucked up.
Yeah.
And even if at the beginning we're like, oh, is this going to work? By the end you're like, yes, that's going to work perfectly. I apologize.
Yeah, but they had to have had this in mind when they did cast her as Laurel Lanson.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely, they would have. I mean, I think it's going to be a case of, where the question's been asked if she can handle it. I think it's going to be a case of the Heath Ledger.
Yep.
She will either do a Heath Ledger or a Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Good answer.
It's
Good answer.
Because I trust her because her character's dealt with alcohol and drug abuse.
Yep.
Now, those two things are very, very touchy subjects, especially in westernized culture.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because they're so relatable.
And on the CW network as well.
Yeah, huh?
And on the CW network as well.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is, she dealt with those issues with respect, with class. She didn't act like a complete...
Yeah, she only really exploded once, and that was part of
that's
what you meant to do. That's falling off the wagon is hitting rock bottom.
Yeah, she hit rock bottom, and the thing is, she did it with class and respect. It was written well, and she put effort in. You can actually see her put extra effort into getting that right because it's so touchy. So if she Heath Ledgers this, it's going to be phenomenal, and like I said, I don't know her filmography or cinematography or anything like that. This could make her career, sort of thing.
Well, she doesn't really have much. She's she's got the standard career you think of somebody that this is their first real recurring proper gig.
And if she Jim Carrey's, well, they won't replace her, but they'll write down the role of Black Canary, and fans will be upset.
I think we're going to find out this coming episode, because this is the Canary episode, where we see it's meant to be the flashbacks that show us all of the Lance sisters when they're fruition and growth and all that. So I think this is the episode where we're going to really know, can she step into? Is she going to step into this fully formed, or is this a case of she's going to take a lot of time to warm into a role?
Yeah,
and I hope it's the former.
Yeah, that's like you said, I don't want her to go from DA by day, kick-ass hero by night. I don't want that. Like, I saw her use the staff, which I've got a little bit of experience with.
Yep.
She looked a bit clumsy with it, which I liked.
Yeah.
Which I really liked. It's like she's gone, right, Ollie's not here.
Well, I like the fact
Sarah gave me the jacket.
She had to use the Canary Blast, which Sarah only really used those for distraction. She didn't use them for attack. Whereas because Laurel isn't anyway, Laurel's not an assassin. She's not trained by Ra's al Ghul, so she has to use exactly. And I like that, because the Canary scream is what's meant to it's meant to fuck them up before she runs in and kills them.
Yeah. So I mean, that for me, like the fact she's a little bit clumsy with the staff, and I saw what was it on? I think it was on Facebook. A little movie of they showed her going one-on-one with this guy in like almost like a library sort of storeroom.
Yep.
And she stumbles and she falls, but she got back up and all this other stuff. So I like that. If that's the sort of slow development,
and I think that's what he's talking. The producer's talking about, where he's like, you don't see Oliver fall because he's already a hero.
Yeah.
She isn't yet.
Yeah. So I want her to fall. I want them to yell at her and scream at her. I want her to go out there and pay her dues, even if it takes, I don't know, if 6 episodes.
Yeah.
She's almost fully formed. Fine, no worries. At least you haven't gone, bam, here you go.
Well, I think it's going to be longer than that.
Yeah, like,
because she's
you know
not
what I mean,
like, Thea's the only one that got trained faster than anybody.
Because she was trained by Merlin.
But yeah, it's like, but she's trained by
Merlin,
one of the 3 best in the world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's excusable and I understand. That's what I
it.
mean by at the moment she's been trained by a former vigilante, but all he was a boxer. That's it. He was a pugilist, nothing more.
Yeah.
She's going to get trained now by a guy who's going to be like, okay, Laurel, you've learned to fight. I'm going to teach you how to survive.
Yeah. And then you've got people like Diggle as well.
Yep.
You got going to have Roy with acrobatics, because obviously that's where they're heading. They're heading the very heavy Nightwing.
Yeah.
She'll
She'll be very acrobatic too, I think.
And she looks lean and toned. So yeah, I mean, I think she'll be fine.
Oh, she's got a pretty good chance. Yeah.
Hashtag I believe in Katie Cassidy.
Yeah.
Trending worldwide.
That's good. Yep. That's what's trend number 2 we created.
Exactly.
First one's taken off real well.
Yeah. No.
Noelicity.
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 All right.
I'm sure I've seen one other person use it.
That's right, man. You don't have to be. Look, when everybody else starts jumping on board, we'll be able to be like, we did it first, bitches.
Yeah.
Because it's coming. Once Roy and Felicity start getting on, people will be all over the Noelicity bandwagon. All right, now let's talk Batsymbols.
Okay.
Because I'm pretty sure we're all going to have a different answer on this.
I don't know. I reckon I have a feeling the 3 of us are going to be really close. I have a feeling.
Okay.
Like, I've got a top 3. Because I had time to prep with this. So I have a top 3.
Okay, well, you go first then.
Okay, for me, it's the 1960s to 1973 Batman one.
Yep.
You know, the one that we're all familiar with, where it's Batman's head with the wings of a bat sort of thing?
Yep.
You know what I'm on about, bro?
Yeah, I know the one you're on about.
Right. And for me, it's the 1988 through to about 1990 bat symbol, the yellow one.
The yellow one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I was going to pick.
Yep.
I mean, I've got about 3 T-shirts with that symbol.
Yeah, I've got 2. I've got the one with where it's a grey shirt and makes me look like I have abs, even though I've got a keg instead of a 6-pack. And for me, it's got to be, it's the Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City video game one that I like. It's that shape.
Trying to remember what that looks like.
Well, go to the Batcave and get the game.
It's almost it's a more winged version of the Nolan one.
Yeah. And also, I have to give an honourable mention to the 1997 one they used for Batman and Robin, because I do like the Robin symbol in there. But that's just an honourable mention. Here's one I prepared earlier.
All right. Well, see, I have one very simple answer, because the design that I like is the same design. They just constantly evolve it.
Yep.
I'm personally not a fan. The gold symbol logo was introduced for the '89 film.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they talked about in the comics, the reason he put it on was because he put on the black suit. The gold symbol is meant to be where they shoot because it's the most reinforced part of the suit.
Ah, okay.
So it's meant to draw fire.
Okay.
That's the point of it. I was never a fan of it. I've always liked the grey tunic, the midnight blue capes.
Yep.
And the bat symbol that I'm the biggest fan of is the 1977 one.
Yeah.
Which is just just the scallops of the bat, and then they just slowly developed it till you have kind of one longer leg at the bottom.
Yep.
And that was it. And that's the one that is actually on most of my jumpers. Is either the 1977 one or the 2003 variant.
Yep.
Those are the two that I am closest to.
Yep.
Although I'm waiting till I can see a full color shot of it, and I'll put up. We found the evolution of the bat symbol. That's what we'll put up on our Facebook page, so everybody can have a look and tell us which ones you think are best.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I do think that the new Ben Affleck one will actually be really good because it's a
Dark Knight Returns one.
Yeah, the Frank Miller.
Yeah. And that is kind of that's the fat version of the symbol that I like. So that I like that. I like a grey. I like the grey suit with the black bat just on it because it's simple, it's classic, and it's to me that's a lot scarier than the yellow symbol because the yellow symbol, whilst it catches out your eye, it's cartoony.
Yeah.
Whereas the dude that just comes running at you with just a black bat across this fat chest, you're just going to be like, oh Jesus. Yeah. Especially the Ben Affleck one's almost the size of an actual fucking bat as well.
Yeah.
So
it's this planet's symbol for you're about to be force fed your kneecaps.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Superman can have his S of Hope.
Exactly.
So yeah.
Well, actually, it's his name. It's the symbol. It's the House of L.
The House of L. Yeah.
Which I've always
for the
found.
most iconic one, I reckon I personally think it would probably be the yellow and black one from.
It's 89.
Yeah.
89, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that is the most iconic because people associate it with that movie so much and then they go back and watch the cartoon series.
And that's the one you see on most bits of clothing and merchandise and stuff. And especially since they adapted it. I mean, look, you can tell how popular a symbol is when it gets adapted. I know that the symbol existed for a little while before 89, but 89 is when it really kicked into its major popularity. That's why it became the symbol that it did. Yeah. And you can see that because even now in comics where they draw... You'll still get my style of bat suit, the grey bat suit, the yellow chili belt, the midnight blue stuff, but they stick the yellow symbol on it.
Yeah.
Because that's the iconic suit with the iconic symbol. And that's, the yellow symbol, there's no question.
Yeah.
There's no question. It's like the McDonald's symbol. You show it to a kid, they're going to know Batman.
Yeah. Simple.
So yeah, and it's amazing as well that one symbol can unite so many people.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, so yeah, that's my answer. Well, now we've only got one question left. It's from our newest listener, Sui, pseudonym.
I cannot wait for this because this is going to rival last week's.
I hope so. We'll see. So,
dear Lord, Jesus, take the wheel.
All right, gentlemen, if you could have any superhero's genitals, who would it be, and why? Don't everybody rush in.
Does it have to be a superhero? Can they just be like a no powers hero?
What do you want, J-Law's vagina?
She's a villain. I was going to go with Scarlett Johansson as
Black Widow.
Widow.
Look, no, she counts as a superhero.
Yeah, but only really her top genitals. Yeah.
They're called breasts.
I'll tell you what, Braden. I'll give you a free pass. You can have Scarlett Johansson's titties. What do you want for the lower half?
The lower half. Well, I was. When you mentioned this question, all I could think of was that scene from Mallrats where Stan Lee's there talking to Brody, and all he keeps asking him about, what about the thing in his genitals? Or Mr. Fantastic, can it stretch and rah.
I think you need to get your friend some help. He's obsessed with superheroes' genitals.
Yeah.
It reminds me of an issue of Spider-Man I did when Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy went lingerie shopping. Of course, the Green Goblin showed up, and he pumpkin bombed the hell out of the place. But aside from that, it's pretty much the same thing.
Oh my God. Holy shit! Aren't you?
Oh, Stanley. Hi.
The Fantastic Four, Reed Richards. Can his whole body stretch? I mean, every part, like his...
I know what you mean. We never really tackled stuff like that in the old days. I mean, what with the comic book code and all.
I can't believe I'm standing here talking to you. You're responsible for the greats. Let's do the list. Spider-Man.
Guilty.
The Incredible Hulk.
Afraid so.
Oh, man, this is so cool. The X-Men.
Now that you mention it.
Shit, man, you are a god.
Hey, look at that couple. Boy, they sure seem to be in love, huh?
What's with that? That's the second time you've commented on couples in love.
Well, I like that sort of thing. Tell me, do you have a girlfriend, Brody?
Had one. We just broke up. The Thing. Is this dork made of orange rock like the rest of his body?
It's a superhero secret.
Yeah.
But, like, I was trying to think of something outside of that, and I don't know, I just couldn't. So I've actually just Googled it now, superhero genitals, and the first thing that's come up is Dr. Manhattan.
Well, that schlong was swinging in the wind for like Dr. Manhattan from The Watchmen.
Oh, you mean all 6 of them?
Yeah.
Where are you? I'm doing physics, darling. Jesus.
Yeah, I can see that. Dr. Manhattan's is a pretty popular penis.
Yep, that's cool. Alright.
Whose penis would I want though? If I could have anybody's penis, I think I've got the answer.
Yeah.
Wolverine's.
Wolverine's penis?
You want Wolverine's
You
penis?
want to know why?
Why?
It's not filled with adamantium.
No, it doesn't need a bone. But even if you did break it, it's quick recovering. You're going to be able to get your stamina back real quick so you can go again.
Yep.
You've got no worries there. And plus, you never have to worry about chafing because even if it rubs raw, give it a few seconds, bang.
All good.
And think about it. Even if you had an issue, right? Let's say you got so hard, so your foreskin couldn't pull back, you could just slice it off with one of your claws and know when you're done, it'll grow back.
Yeah, just trim it
Problem
up.
solved.
Give it a bit of a shred.
Yep.
So that's what I'm going with. So, I mean, I imagine it'd be quite hairy.
You couldn't slice off one of your claws. You've only got his dick, not his balls.
Well, that's fine. No, I don't care. I'll go with Wolverine's hairy dick. That's my answer. I'm taking Wolverine's hairy, ultimately repairable. Quick recovery dick.
It's the dick, not the powers.
No, the dick the dick comes with the power. You don't. You're the powers and because for instance, then if I have Hulk's dick, it's always just going to be Bruce Banner's. It's not going to be the Hulk's, is it? So you have to have the power with it.
Oh no,
The rest
no.
of him turns big and green. Why wouldn't his dick?
I just got this this image of Hulk smashing town. You know why he's angry? Because his dick doesn't grow to ratio. That's why.
He's got a micro penis.
Micro cock. That's
Hulk
why.
sad. Hulk never gets more than 1 inch in.
Oh God, whose? I want to say, no, but have we established powers comes with the genitalia?
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
I'm always
because the worst one there is Superman. Superman is not a good power to pick with your penis unless your plan is just, I've only got a superpowered cock, so I'm going to fight crime just by belting it and just shooting wads at guys.
Can you imagine how humiliating that is? You're stuck to a wall.
What happened to this guy? Oh, he got shot by the wad master.
Jackman. Oh, God. So the powers come with, there's part of me that wants to say
does
how...
that mean when he blew his wad, he would blow it?
Yeah,
through?
it blows like a shotgun.
Yeah, Wonder Woman, they talk about it in Mallrats. Wonder Woman's the only one who can hold Superman's baby.
That's right.
That's it. I'm always tempted to say Hal Jordan because, if you come up with like a bigger hallway than you have a sausage, you always just willpower your way up to
But that's the ring.
Yeah, no, he said powers came with it.
No, but his
That'd
dick,
make like
that's
a
not his
condom,
dick.
not a bloody
His
bigger
dick
dick.
his dick doesn't have any, like, Hal doesn't have the special powers. Hal's dick is just a human dick.
Yeah, I
and
know.
the ring can't make his dick big. All the ring can do is put a green condom over it.
No. What you can do, you can willpower it just to have a condom, but it's like almost like a how would I describe it? A sleeve.
Right.
So like a gap filling sleeve, like a flange.
Why wouldn't you just? Why are you putting it on
It'd be
yourself?
just like wearing
put
10
like
condoms. It's
just use the ring as it'll do it.
No, I'm saying like no. Just imagine like a sheath in her, so it's like a what do you call?
Yeah, same sort of thing. Yes, yeah.
Like a diaphragm.
Yeah.
That's the shit of all the dicks you could have. Your plan. This is your plan. I just want to get Hal Jordan's dick and then put a condom on it. That's
put 10 condoms on it.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
All right, fine.
That's worse than having MS. That is the dumbest superpower I've ever...
Oh, God.
Here's the worst part, okay? You want to know how that's dumb? Let's say you meet a girl and you fall in love and you want to get married. Then on the wedding night, you can't even use your superpower for anything because you're not going to be frangering up.
Yeah, but...
Or when you want to go to have kids, you're just going to be like, well, I don't like this. It's not as good without the vibrating Green Lantern sheath.
And? So what?
Jeez.
You and your Wolverine's hairy dick. Oh, God.
So that's your answer. Legit, that's your answer. Hal Jordan's dick. Do you have to wear the ring like a cock ring on the dick?
No.
See, then he
It's
can't
done
have
by
the power.
willpower, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, but the willpower comes from the ring. It's
And
not from his body. It's not just a dude walking around being like, I've got willpower.
All right, fine. All right, what answer would shut you up?
You can answer anything. Like basically, you want Oliver Queen's dick by this notion. And the whole purpose is, because he can shoot arrows. It's like, yeah, I understand that. That power isn't actually in the dick.
No.
In the same way, I'd have the claws to circumcise my dick. You don't have the ring to sheath your dick. So, I'll ask you again, Terry. Here's an answer you might want to go with, okay?
All right, what's that?
Things dick. It's always hard and it's ready to go. Never going to have a problem with things dick. Except for the fact you might shoot gravel in her, I don't know.
A fresh layer of asphalt.
That's how the roads get laid in New York in the Fantastic Four comics. Thor comes in, hammers him down. All right, so whose dick you got, Terry? Or do you want a vagina?
I don't know. I never really thought about the vag.
Because you got to think, She-Hulk's vagina, that would be a good way. You could open any jars you can't open.
Yes.
But you could probably store things in there.
But the question is, does she have the same problem as the Hulk, where it doesn't
No,
grow
She-Hulk's
in ratio?
always green.
Oh, really?
She-Hulk's always the Hulk.
Ah.
And at least in modern comics, she always stays in Hulk form. She can change, but unlike Bruce, her Hulk form is her. Her brain is always still there.
Okay.
So.
Wonder Woman's vag. There you go. Take a pounding all day long.
I can't argue with that one because that's true. That would be the vagina that would be able to stand up to the Wolverine cock, I would think, or even to actually no, I'll take that back. That would stand up to Thing's cock.
It would. In fact, it'd probably whittle the Thing's cock down to a pebble.
Yeah, the only dick you can really take, because if you do what's
Kegels?
Yeah, if you do Kegels, you're ripping a dude's dick off. Mm-hmm. So Superman, you can really have sex with Superman.
Superman. As long as it's Dean Cain Superman, it's all good.
That is Superman. He's the only real Superman.
That's right.
All the rest of them are Superman. There's nothing.
Superman.
He's not Superman. Well,
I think I might change mine.
Oh God! Are we keeping the boobs?
I'm gonna go with I'll keep the boobs because this Scarlett Johansson's stay. But Juggernaut's penis.
Oh fuck! Okay.
Once that movement's going, stopping it.
No keyhole is safe.
You're gonna start a fire in her.
No, she just get dragged.
His pubes just fucking burst into flames.
Oh no, I'm gonna go for Johnny Flame's dick.
Why? How good is that? She's just gonna be like, have I got syphilis? No, I just flamed on.
I have syphilis. Cleansed. Genital warts gone. Hey?
You can sterilize before you go in.
Yeah, I know, right? No genital warts, no nothing. It's all good. Just burn that shit off.
Okay, and maybe I'll change my answer too.
Okay.
Ready? I'm going to go with Diggle because you know that thing's a fucking monster. That's my answer. Because I reckon if we line them all up, Diggle, we'd be line them up, lengthen them. Even Mr. Fantastic would be like, "Damn, son." The Flash would be running past, be like throwing his chips in the air, like, "Deborah, see that?" That's my answer. Diggle.
Okay, Diggle's dick.
Diggle's dick.
So I got Diggle's dick, Johnny Flame's dick, the Juggernaut's dicks with the Black Widow's boobs.
Yeah, that's what we've gone with.
Nice.
That's a good cross selection of dicks there, superhero dicks.
It's fun.
And if you at home have any superhero dicks you would like, please do write in and tell us if you'd like. If we'd like to hear your opinions on which superhero genitals. It could be a vagina. We've discussed that. Doesn't have to be a dick. We've just picked dicks because they seem to have the better power. Also, Wonder Woman's vagina was a good answer.
Yeah, no, that's up there.
Wonder Woman's that was a very good answer.
Yeah, you can't really argue with that.
No, and I wouldn't want to argue with Wonder Woman's vagina because that means you're right near her legs and she'd probably just kill you.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah. Well, I think on the talk of Scarlett Johansson's titties and things shooting asphalt, we've hit the end of another episode. Has anybody got any other thoughts before we leave?
We really need to clean up our act.
Yeah, they've been saying that to me for a lot of years now.
Yeah.
And I say the same thing. If I'm not going to shower, I'm not going to clean up my act.
What are you, Zach Galifianakis?
No.
No,
I'm
Dave.
I'm Dave Galifianakis.
Oh, they said they would not. They said I wouldn't amount to much, but here I am on a podcast listened by 3 people.
Only until
I know.
Mr. CrossFit will come out of basic training in a few weeks, and I'm sure he'll catch up. In rage.
In rage.
How dare you insult J-Law's vagina?
From now on, that's every time someone mentions J-Law, I'm making that sound.
So anytime anybody says J-Law...
It cracks me up every time. J-Law.
Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I have been Red Thunder Adam Gerard J-Law, and I've been joined in this by my compadres in crime, the Bat Knight, Braden Ahern J-Law, and Terry O'Neill, J-Law, J-Law. Thank you once again from the Batcave. We will see you all next week. We love you, our fans. Please give us your questions, your feedback. Tell us which hero dicks you'd like, which bat symbol you like, and also tell us what would you do if you had J-Law's vagina for the day. We'll see you all next week.
Hey guys.
J-Law.
Oh, you got me in hysterics.
And who are you? I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
Yes, I'm Batman.
Telegram.
I am Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
You sound like Cookie Monster.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
I'm thirsty. I'm hungry.
I'm Batman. I'm Batman. I'm Batman.
Darling, I don't have to answer to you. I'm Batman.
I'm totally Batman. Clearly, I am Batman.
I am Batman.
This has been a Cabana production.
There's such a fine line between German and Austrian, it's not funny.
Yeah. Arnold Schwarzenegger's been riding that line for a very long time.
Testing. Ah, better. Now it is. Hang on, stop.
Now it is as it was before I fell in the pit.
Now it is as it was before I was doing. Okay. Keep going. Ah, better. Now it is as it was before I was thrown in the pit. Now to Gotham, where. Crap. When it is. Oh, when it is in ashes. I can't read your writing. Now to Gotham, where it is in ashes. Now to Gotham, when it is in ashes, Batman has my permission to die. But first, let's get some ice cream.